this relationship that we have with God and with each other. And then the other piece is the understanding that man is not alienated not only from other men, and men, of course, women. I meant like people, I'm separate from other people, because I know y'all got real technical about that. That in fact there is no alienation, that we are the same, we are fundamentally people. The gender distinction is superficial at best. And the essence of our peoplehood is what counts. I don't even care about your masculinity and femininity. That's not the critical issue. The issue is, what do you do with your womanhood, your manhood? The fact that you got bigger muscles than someone else or prettier breasts than someone else, that is insignificant. You and Madonna are in the same category. So what? So there's no reality in that. The reality is what you do with that in terms of restoring life given the God-dictated consciousness. Then the other piece of that is the fact that the pre-Columbian consciousness understood of man's relationship to nature. That we are not separate from the environment in which we find ourselves. And I mean, this is not only true in terms of what has happened. You see, we could easily have predicted that the Europeans would do to this environment in less than 500 years what had not been done to it tens of thousands of years before. We could have predicted that. Anyone who comes, and see, this is why the paradigm is important. Anyone who comes in with a fundamental assumption that I am individually myself the God, I am justified in being a conqueror, and I am supposed to gain and control whatever material I can. Anyone who operates with that kind of fundamental assumption will eventually kill off other people, kill off themselves, and kill off the environment. They will also eventually kill off God. Now, how do you mean that? Kill off the God consciousness in the people. Will destroy it. Because their agenda is an agenda of somehow the alienation from the rhythm, the harmony, the order that is the divine order. So the kinds of ideas that we talked about at the beginning are ones that somehow would have dictated this kind of thing. Now, with this relationship to nature, then you understand, as I said a minute ago about the healing, everything is whole. Everything is whole. There is nothing physical that is not also mental, that is not also spiritual. They're all interrelated. You cannot have a church that doesn't engage in trying to change the social environment.
That's right.
That's a church that is floating in space.
Come on with it.
If your church is not engaged in developing economic programs to build the community where that church is located, that church is in space. And the leadership is a space cadet. Simple as that. You can't have a spiritual agenda without having an economic agenda, a political agenda, an intellectual agenda. It's got to all be there simultaneously. Teachers, you cannot educate children unless you're giving them spiritual values. I don't care whether you're teaching them Christianity or Hebrewism or Islam or whatever, or even Rastafari. You've got to give them a spiritual consciousness. The knowledge has got to be embedded in the bigger truth. I'm not talking about creationism versus evolutionary or whatever it is. I'm not talking about that contradiction. I'm talking about the consistency, the complementarity, to understand that whatever is physical is no more than a manifestation of something higher, bigger, and better. That's the African way. In that, people begin to develop a fundamental respect for the environments where they live. They see a connection. They respect it. They see dignity in it. They begin to respect the manifestation of God in environment the same way they see that in each other. So economics for them does not become a weapon. Economics becomes a divine responsibility. We must understand that resources of the earth are gifts and tools for the advancement of humanity. There is nothing wrong with capital. Capitalism is a problem. You need, look, you know, we are so tripped out. You know, black folks actually, and it's changing some now, thank God, but we spent a whole lot of time believing that money was evil. Folks felt guilty about money. And then they got ready to do something. The first thing they needed was money. So they were faced with and dealing with the contradiction in that has created so many hypocritical problems that it's just like created like lots of distrust in our communities. You had preachers who preached on the damnation of the dollar while saying, gimme, 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 I got to give us some gas in my Cadillac. You understand? Now, if in fact you need it, don't we all need it? We must take resources in order to change the environment. Now, some of you have heard me speak for years now, and I've been talking about this institute I want, a place where African Americans can come to get re-educated. I've been talking about it for years and years and years, but had done nothing financially. As soon as I started thinking about how am I going to send out mail-outs about it, the first thing the post office said, where are your stamps? The first thing I began to start saying, I want to put together some materials to use it. The people say, where your money? We found this beautiful campus that is a college that has been closed down over about 50 miles from the Atlanta airport. The college has been closed about 10 years. We'd love to have it. We wanted to buy it. The first thing they say, you got $5 million? No! Because we've been busily talking about the esoteric without understanding we need money, more money, more money, more money, more money. And ain't no shame about it. You will willingly pay $25 to hear Whitney Houston sing 3 songs and go home satisfied. But you will pay $5 to come hear John Henry Clark, Ben Jokanan, Marana Karenga, Naim Akabar, Asa Hilliard, hear all of them, some of the greatest minds on the planet today, and pay $10 and cuss the third eye out for the next 6 months. They took all my money. What them niggas doing with the money? What they doing? I swear old John Howard must be stealing that money. Where's the money? John Tate, I see he got a new computer. He must be taking the money. You are sick. Why does Whitney Houston need more money than something to build your minds? You want to get sex you up in sexual therapy and whatever, You will pay to be made into a fool and then question somebody trying to make you sane. I tell people all the time, look, if I had not given my skills that God has blessed me with and had not committed these skills to African people, I could be a millionaire. Les Brown making a whole lot of money doing less good job than I am doing what I'm doing. The only difference is that Les Brown say, I'm going to do it for everybody. Anybody who will pay may come. And as these retire, let others come. Then there is no, I said, if I'm going to motivate, if I'm going to teach, if I'm going to correct the consciousness of people, I ain't going to worry about the people with Amway and the white folks in Utah. I'm going to worry about your mind. That's my first priority. That's my commitment. That's my commitment. That's number one. That is number one. Listen, that's number one. Listen. Thank you. Listen. Thank you. Les is a good brother, but he's made a commitment to do some other things. He's good at what he does. But I want you to know I've committed myself to do it. I am not going to do it for free. Akbar, you like us. Come and come give your life. Not on the cross. No, indeed. Martyrdom is over. I will use my skills to build for us. I want to put some things here because Akbar is not the answer. There are ideas and institutions and concepts that must be implemented. We've got to build things that are going to stand. You know how I'm getting old quick. Now, I know I still look good. But if you knew the birth date, you know time is running out quick. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. In fact, I will be with the same energy, the same enthusiasm, just a little bit more stubborn. 30 years from now, I'll be just like John Henry Clark. Blind, old, bent over, and every time you look around, you're going to be looking in my face. Doesn't matter. But the idea is that I don't want my work to be limited to my presence. I want things to live. I want books. I want monuments. I want institutions. I want structures. I want places where a new day can be. And I don't want the Ford Foundation, the Carnegie Foundation,